Good evening, everybody. It's a special time to celebrate and look back and 100 years of this campus. It's a time to celebrate, and over the last 2 days, we've been listening to reminiscence and of all the things that we truly have to celebrate. Some people are kind to an era that has gone by, a time to remember. Somebody put an analogy, it's like a cricket match where a batsman has just hit 100, time to take your gloves off, helmet off, put your hands up in the air and say, yes, I've done it. And it's also a time, while it's time to celebrate, it's also a time to look back and be grateful for all the blessings that we have. While we continue to be critical at times of many of the things that we are not, truly in many ways, CMC is a perfect gift. As I said in James 1:17, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. At this point, I really want to thank the chaplaincy. One of the main times to celebrate is the service given by the chaplaincy over the years in this chapel and on this campus. The chaplaincy has grown from strength to strength, built on persons who have really built it to where it is today. Today, it is almost 33 members strength in structure, and continues to provide a very key component of our healthcare mission. Before I forget, towards the end, I just want to start by thanking many people who have made this program possible. Many of the administrators take leads and give structures to programs, and it comes to fruition. And I really want to thank Dr. Ebi for this, for taking the lead in organizing this. Thank you, Ebi. And he's planned a whole lot of events over the next few months and years to truly celebrate what we have achieved and reached. Along with him, the Medical Superintendent's Office, Dr. Rajesh and his team, Sister Alice Soni and her team at the NS office, Mr. Rennie and the office is GS, the Principal's office, and the Dean's office. All these offices work together to bring to you our assurance that we will always remain, this campus will always remain the mother campus, the main campus. We are committed to its strength and its growth in the future as well. This chapel and this hospital has seen many challenges, many ups and downs. From the very early days, there was stiff opposition to the medical college and this college being built. In fact, looking at the archives, while we were looking at the creation of the recent review that we had been doing, in the early 1913, when the medical college and hospital faced immediate resistance, the statements that were made was, there is no money for such a project. Government will never give clearance for this. Who would come and work here? Which faculty are you going to get? Would any students ever work? To many administrators here, past and present, you will realize that these are very familiar lines we face every day, even as we go forward. So what was true in the past is true even today. There have been other ups and downs, many of them. The strike is something that everybody spoke about yesterday. And existential crisis even during the COVID, or more recently in 2022. There was a time when we did not have salaries to pay our staff. It was really a crisis. There was a time when we were 3 hours short of our liquid medical oxygen ceasing, with 200 patients on ventilators and high-end oxygen support. A disaster waiting to happen. I'm truly grateful to Dr. J.V. Peter for his leadership during that crisis. And I'm sure there are leaders over the years who have taken us through many such crises. People have and continue to write us off. But looking to Lamentations 3:22, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. In faith, as individuals, as an institution, as an organization, we look and move always forward. Faith, Khalil Gibran very poetically described, faith is an oasis in the heart, which will never be reached by the caravan of the thinking. In Matthew 9:27-30, it says, when 2 blind men came to Jesus and asked him to heal them, Jesus asked them, do you believe that I am able to do this? And the reply was, yes, Lord. Then he touched them, saying, according to your faith, let it be to you. And their eyes were opened. The greatest strength that CMC has is the people we have, not the buildings and the infrastructure. It is a privilege to work here, and the output of the collective always, always is far bigger than the sum of all the individuals put together. There was a tagline when we hit 100 years of medical education that said, 100 years of transforming life. And Dr. Rajshekhar rightly pointed out in his farewell, we had the hubris to believe that we were talking about students and patients. Well, in fact, it was us. All of us who have worked here, temporarily, permanently in different in positions, and contributed to this institution, have been transformed in one way or the other. We also tend to believe that it is we who contribute with our religiosity, with our hard work and commitment. And Dr. Lionel Nyanraj yesterday rightly pointed out, yes, you must continue to contribute and you must continue to work hard. But don't forget that greater work God can do through you if you allow it, much more than you think that you are contributing. In fact, I would say to the people over here, there is no one bigger or smaller in the contribution to the shared vision and mission of ours. As it said in 1 Peter 4:10, each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. None of us is bigger or smaller in this contribution, and the minute somebody thinks that he is the most important, that is the downfall of the individual, and also from an institution perspective, the institution is always and always will be bigger than any individual. As we go forward and as we look to God's faithfulness, as we sang today, Great is Thy Faithfulness, I think it is more and more important to re-emphasize our faith as we go forward. And as we go forward in the next 100 years and more, may we continue to keep the faith, not to lose the focus why we are here, and grow from strength to strength for His glory. I'll end with Aunt Ida's prayer, because I really think this is a prayer that gives structure, a sense of process, and the purpose of why we are all here. Father, whose life is in me and whose love is ever about me, grant that my life may be maintained in my life today and every day, that with gladness of heart and without haste or confusion of thought, I may go about my daily tasks, conscious of my ability to meet every rightful demand, seeing the larger meaning of little things and finding beauty and love everywhere. And in the sense of Thy presence, may I walk through the hours, breathing the atmosphere of love rather than anxious striving. Amen, and God bless us as we all go forward.